So I'm 19 or 20 years old. I'm running a business, restaurant consulting. Got a partner named Jim. Calls me up. He says, Randy, I want you to come over to the house on Saturday and protect me. I said, protect you from what? First of all, you got 3 dogs, and they're big. I mean, he had really big dogs. So what do you want me to protect you from? He said, I was filling up my car at the gas pump today, and when I undid the cap and it made this popping sound, and the guy at the next pump made some joke about it, and he started talking to me, and next thing you know, he's talking about making money. So he's coming over to the house on Saturday to show me how to make money, and I want you there to protect me because I think it's Amway. I say, Amway? What's Amway? I said, you don't know what Amway is? That thing where they draw all the circles and the circles under the circle. I say, Jimmy, I don't know anything about circles. I never heard about Amway. But if this thing is about making money, we need to look at it because we ain't making any money. He said, well, come over. The guy's coming at 1 o'clock. Get here early. So I come over. Get there early. The guy shows up at 1 o'clock. His name is Jim as well. He has a yellow legal pad, just like this one here. And he had a red pen. And sure enough, he sat down, and within a minute, he drew this first red circle. And he wrote "you" in the middle of it. And then he wrote 5 circles beneath that. And the 5 got 5. And those 5 got another 5. And those 5 got another 5. And you know the drill. Well, I saw those circles, and I was absolutely mesmerized. Now here I am coming out of the restaurant business, working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. You're in the hospitality business. You know what it's like. You have no life. It's nothing to work a 16-hour day. It's not unusual to work an 18-hour day. So I'm having these kind of days. He's drawing these circles, and he's talking about people making $100,000 a year, which was just a mind-boggling number to me at this point in my life. $200,000 a year. He's talking about millionaires and multi-millionaires. And I looked at those circles, and I told myself, this is it for me. I have found what I am supposed to be doing. I could make $250,000 a year in this business. Now, why I felt, or where I came up with $250,000 is pretty fascinating looking back to me, because of course I had never made anything remote to that kind of money. And my idea of spectacularly wealthy was $100,000 a year. So why I would think I could go $250,000, I don't know. George, can you go down just a shade? We're getting a little echo there. So, but I really, $250,000 a year just etched itself into my mind. And the reason was I'm a very rational, logical, very analytical guy. So when they drew out those circles like that, I got it. I really understood the law of expanding multiples. I had never heard of anything about exponential growth, never even knew anything of the concept. But the second I saw those circles, I got it. Now, some of you have drawn them out hundreds of times, or some of you have drawn them out thousands of times. You've drawn them for people, and they didn't get it, and they were skeptical, and they gave you objections. And I want you to know, I did none of that. He drew those circles, and I said, I'm in. Okay? So Jimmy, of course, had to sign up so he could sign up me. So you can see what a great job I did protecting him. So I sign up on the spot. Jimmy signs up on the spot. So that was, I'm 19 or 20 years old, and thus begins my career with the Amway Corporation. Now you see me up here on the platform now, you probably figure, well, he probably went on, became a double diamond with Amway, made a few $1 million, sponsored 20, 30,000 people. Not exactly. I was in the business with Amway for 6 months before I dropped out. Now, during that 6 months' time, I sponsored one person in the business who was my roommate, who I lent the money for the distributor kit. And of course, he's going to pay me back with all the money he'll be making down the road. So I lent him the money for the distributor kit. I lent him the money for the first product order. Never sponsored anyone else. 6 months into the business, I dropped out. Now, is that because Amway doesn't work? Of course not. There were people making fortunes with Amway back then. There's people making fortunes with Amway right this second. There'll be people still making fortunes with Amway 50 years from now. You can bet the rent on it. But it didn't work for me. I didn't know why. I just knew it didn't work. Now, one of the things I discovered along the way is I had never heard of Amway. 19, 20 years old, however old I was, I had never heard of Amway all those years on the planet. Now, as soon as I heard about it, and I got so excited, and I did the stuff they told me to do, and I started contacting people, my friends, my neighbors, my relatives, and I discovered something fascinating was they had already heard of Amway. And they weren't particularly excited about hearing about it from me again. So I faced a lot of frustration, contacted a lot of people, and didn't get any results. So I dropped out. But meanwhile, I had contacted all of those people, so they all knew that I had joined Amway, I was in the business. So what happened after I dropped out is somebody who I had approached called me because they had a deal just like Amway, only better. Well, of course, I liked Amway. If this was better than Amway, this was for me. So I went to the presentation, they drew some circles, I'm in. Sponsored my roommate. Same deal, same circumstance, same end result. I drop out, it doesn't work. Fortunately, I get a call from someone else. He's got a deal that's just like the deal, that's just like Amway, only better, only it's better than the deal that was better than Amway. They drew the circles, I'm in. Roommate in. I don't wait 6 months this time, I wait 60 days, I drop out again. Fortunately, I get a call. They've got a deal that's just like the deal, that's just like the deal, that's just like the deal, like Amway, only it's better than the deal, which is better than the deal, which is better than the Amway. I'm in. Roommate wouldn't touch it. So I didn't get anyone in that deal. I spent 5 years losing money in this business that we're going to talk about all day and all night today. 5 years. So you guys who've been in 90 days already and you're not millionaires yet. You guys who've been in for a year and a half and you only have 7 people in your group. You guys who've been in for 3 years and only have 30 people. Yes, of course, I'm going to show you how you could exponentially just blow those numbers out of the water with the skills you're going to learn today. But I want you to understand one thing before we do that. You're starting out light years ahead of where I started out. Because for 5 years I lost money. For 5 years I faced frustration. And I think the turning point for me came about 5 years into the business. I went to a function. Now, I hadn't gone to a lot of functions because I wasn't into the functions because they're all that rah-rah stuff and they got those positive thinking people and I don't want to hear that stuff and I know they all know the secret for the business that they're not telling me. And for whatever reason, I went to this one and I was in a new company. It was a startup company, so we had all that excitement about the ground floor opportunity. And for some reason, I got very energized again and I said, this is it. I'm going to do meetings. So I started doing me. So we found a restaurant up in Sunny Isles. They had like a banquet room behind the dining room. They give us the room for free if people ordered coffee and cake or pie. So we told people, just order something for the meeting, have some cake or pie, come in, the meeting room was free. And I started drawing circles on Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, and Friday nights. 5 days a week I was drawing circles. I told my people, you don't have to learn the presentation. You don't have to know how to draw the circles. All you have to do is bring your people to me. You get them to this place by 7:30, let me do my thing, and they will sign up. I personally sponsored about 30 people the first month. was a breakthrough time for me. Because this was, remember, I was a guy who had struggled so much and had sponsored so few people. Now I'm just throwing people in the deal. 30 people in a month. This is one a day we're talking about. Counting weekends. 30 people. Well, and of course they're bringing their people, and some of them are bringing people, and so I'm getting 2, 3, 4 levels, things going on. I'm very excited about it. Now, I stayed very excited till the second month, because of the first 30 people, I was losing them. 15 gone, 18 gone. By the end of the second month, 27 people of the 30 are probably gone. So I'm playing, I don't know if these people are stupid. I don't know if they're ignorant. I don't know if they're lazy. Who needs them? I'll sponsor 30 more. Which is what I did. I had my Miami Vice suits. I had my whiteboard. I had my markers. And I was up there drawing circles like a crazy man. Just putting people in, putting things. And a good thing, because of the second 30, probably 28 of them dropped out. Third month, I'm doing the same thing. Same thing, people are dropping out. And that was the turning point for me. I started to really do some introspection. I started to really do some study. Started to really do some wondering. Okay, why is it that these people are excited? I'm excited. They're joining up. They're filling out applications. They're coming into business. Why are they dropping out 30, 60 days into the business? Especially when they have such a great sponsor like me who's willing to do all the work for them, and all they got to do is bring them to me and I will do the presentations for them. And I came to understand that that was the issue. Because they didn't feel comfortable doing those Miami Vice meetings. And they didn't know how to do what I did. So when I wasn't doing the hype and the rah-rah and the keep everybody fired up and do all these meetings, they were not able to do what I could do. Now, for whatever reason, I never was afraid to talk to groups of people. For me, it was a relief because I was pathologically shy and I had a real issue to talk to people one-on-one. And that's why I think I had the big breakthrough with the numbers, is because I stopped approaching people one-on-one and I started going for this group dynamic of working the big meetings. That was not threatening to me. I know a lot of people say, oh, they're scared to death of the platform and people would rather be dead than public speaking and all that. Never was an issue for me. My issue was being in an elevator with 2 people trying to make small talk. My issue was going to a dinner party and have someone start a conversation with me. My issue was going to a dinner or a party or anywhere with people I didn't know. What do you mean you're going to the bathroom? Where you coming right back? Because I'm going to be right here. Don't leave me here long. So the meeting thing wasn't an issue for me, but it was an issue for other people. And we're going to talk later today about what happens when you become the superhero sponsor. Just when you try to do everything for your people, when you try to be the best sponsor you can be, but instead of enabling your people in positive ways, we're enabling them in codependent ways. And I started to look at, okay, how do I take myself out of the picture? How do I get those circles to do the circle thing? Because every time somebody draws out those circles, it's 5 and 25 and 125 and 625 and 3,125 and 15,625 and 78,125. But every time I looked at my circles or the people in my group circle, it went you, 3, 8, 15, 54, 32, 16, 4, and some lonely housewife in Iowa. So instead of having this kind of pyramid thing going on, we had the diamond thing, which started narrow, got wider, and then it got narrower and narrower down to nothing again. And I began to really think and really understand about harnessing the power of duplication, which is where the magic of exponential growth comes in, which is where the magic of this business is all about. If you will study the wealthiest people in the world, and I don't mean the millionaires and the multimillionaires, I mean the billionaires and the multi-billionaires. People like Andrew Carnegie, Bill Gates, Ross Perot, Richard Branson, J. Paul Getty, the Rockefellers. I'm talking money with a capital M kind of money. If you will study those wealthy, wealthy people, you will discover what I discovered, which is the wealthiest people in the world understand how to harness the power of leverage.